From a Fiat 128 to an amphibious tank, the star accompanied the stages of his life with different exotic and extravagant models. The latest BMW M4 with sirens and police car lights is preceded by a unique list of vehicles. Maradona was always attracted to cars. In his heyday, in his garage, he could have had any combination he wanted. His first brand new car was a Fiat Europa 128 CLS. He bought it in 1982 before leaving South America to go to Spain. It was perhaps the one that accompanied him in his last months of peaceful life in his neighborhood before the immense stardom that awaited him in Europe. He was already a world youth champion, but with the 128 he still allowed himself to pick up his girlfriend to go for a ride. He sold it in 1984. His first car was used, but it was a Porsche. The car was patented by a soccer legend Maradona in 1980 when he was only 19 years old. It is perhaps the only car registered solely in his name during his soccer career. He sold the car before being transferred to Spain. Since then, it has remained in the ownership of serious collectors who kept the car in very good condition. His black Porsche 924 has a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that generates 125 horsepower. Maradona sold it in 1982. It was published in 2010 on James List and fetched $500,000. 2 years later, another site put it on sale for $77,500. Grateful for the achievements and indelible goals that the player had left at an Argentinian club, the fans gave him a red Mercedes-Benz 500 SLC in 1980. Only 1,133 units of that model were manufactured, with a V8 engine and 237 horsepower. The last time, it was offered for sale as a collector's item, in October 2011. They were asking for $50,000. In 2017, a Ford Sierra XR4 that belonged to Maradona was put up for sale. At that time, $19,000 were asked, although it was a vehicle that was mainly used by his dad. In 1987, Maradona was already considered God, first by the Italian fans, and of course, also for the Argentine and world fans, who had seen him at the '86 World Cup in all his splendor. The best Maradona of all time was enjoying the maximum glory and recognition. And at that time, he decided to accompany his garish shirts with some other tastes, 2 Ferraris. But there was one condition that he asked his agent. They had to be black. A daring step in the tradition of the Rosso Corsa that Enzo Ferrari was still personally in charge of keeping unalterable. He managed to make Ferrari betray its tradition with one of the requests, the famous Testarossa, an exception that had previously been made only for Sylvester Stallone, and that, after Maradona, was repeated by none other than Michael Jackson and Michael Jordan. The player's other request had been for a Ferrari F40, an exquisite model that the brand had conceived to commemorate the 40th anniversary of its birth, and of which only 40 units would be made. In 1991, Maradona was arrested, accused of possessing half a kilo of cocaine. 2 months after that episode that went around the world and showed the star crestfallen and handcuffed, he bought a brand new Renault Fuego GTA Max. It had a 2.2-liter engine with 123 horsepower and was the fastest domestic car of its time, 122 miles per hour. It is said that he didn't use it much, because he was still spending a lot of time in Europe. He sold it in 1992, and then it appeared for sale in 2018 at $23,000. When Maradona returned to South America in 1995, he again ordered 2 Ferraris. That time, it was the brand new F355 Spider, both red, and bought practically at the same time. That model was equipped with a 3.5-liter V8 and 380 horsepower. In 2005, and with only 37,800 kilometers, one of the F355 Spiders was auctioned on the internet. The final price of the auction was $670,150. To avoid the press, One week, he tried different alternatives. On Monday, he arrived in a Porsche. On Tuesday, in a Mitsubishi Montero, the best 4x4 of the moment. But on Wednesday, he's surprised with a blue Scania 360 truck, model 113H. While driving it, he proudly said that no reporter would be able to interview him. The truck had been a present from the LoJack company, as a sponsorship. He had also bought a similar black one. During his time as coach of the Argentine national team, ahead of the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, Maradona drove two versions of a classic English model, a Mini Cooper S Hot Pepper from 2005 and another Mini from 2009. The Mini Cooper S went on sale in 2010 at $32,000. With that Mini, he was involved in an incident when he arrived at the training ground. He unintentionally stepped on a cameraman of all those who were crowded at the door to wait for him and record his entrance. His foray as a coach in Dubai brought him into a new era. On the one hand, he made his debut with a hybrid, in this case, a BMW i8, which combines a combustion engine with an electric one and is capable of accelerating from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.4 seconds. And on the other hand, he got into the ultimate sophistication in the automotive universe. He had an imposing Rolls-Royce Ghost, equipped with a V12 6.6-liter twin-turbocharged engine that generates 570 horsepower. After leaving the post of coach in the United Arab Emirates, he landed in Belarus. He arrived at the Dynamo Brest, where he became vice president to oversee the strategic development of the club. And as a welcome gift, he was given an amphibious military vehicle, manufactured by the firm Sower Group. It is called the Overcomer Hunter, designed to traverse any terrain and even submerge in water. Maradona claimed to love this vehicle, especially its roar. The roar was from the impressive 3.6-liter, 335 horsepower V6 engine in his brand new Chevrolet Camaro RS. Diego presented it at one of the training sessions of his Mexican club, while he was performing the task of technical director. The 2019 Camaro, which had been gifted for his stay in Mexico, was valued at about $38,000. In the middle of the quarantine, and while the player was preparing to return to train his last team, the last and brilliant fierce incorporation of the star appeared, a BMW M4, the sports version of the 4 Series, which has a twin-turbo engine of 6 cylinders and 3 liters, which develops 431 horsepower. It accelerates from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.1 seconds. The national traffic law establishes that it is forbidden to drive private vehicles with unauthorized sirens or horns, and this BMW was modified with blue lights and a patrol car siren. I am not the one to talk about his personal or soccer life, but it must be said that a rather peculiar list of cars has passed through his hands, although with his luxurious tastes, as it should be.